Farid, you're the one person who's not a clinician, right? So इसमें यही जो अभी discussion जो Dr. Ali कर रहे हैं about speaking to the child. So page 2 पे, did you look at when they are talking about, this is the second page, they spend a paragraph, etc., on the issue of truth. Isme, did you find they're differentiating, they're using different terms? आपने ये note किया?
Interesting मुझे लगा कि थोड़ा philosophical.
Right. So उसमें what did you think of that? Maybe you can read it out.
So
this is on page.
The question of what constitutes the truth about a serious medical condition in a child is of course somewhat problematic when treatment and prognostic information is probabilistic, uncertainty abounds, and there is a possibility of new treatment breakthroughs. And nevertheless, even if we cannot ever fully grasp or express the whole picture, it is possible to speak truthfully. This is the sense in which we use the term truth-telling. फिर आगे कहते हैं, we agree with Hicks, किसी को mention करके, that one can distinguish between abstract concept of truth,
right,
which may be impossible to establish, and telling the truth or speaking truthfully when the intention is to convey what we understand, not to mislead, and includes uncertainty, likelihoods, informed guesses, and I don't know.
So why did you find this interesting? Because I thought we talk about tell the truth. Truth telling has become one of the basic things. Now we're talking of even in adults, it's बच्चों की बात हो रही. So what is the word that he is using? He's not using, as he says, the abstract concept of truth. So when you say tell them the truth, what he is saying is that's abstract. So instead of that, what are the words he prefers?
Speaking truthfully or misleading, not misleading.
So speaking truthfully is different from telling the truth. And I thought this was a very interesting thing which clinicians will kind of relate to. So but the principle जो है contemporary bioethics में, it's truth telling. And what he's talking about is, and आगे भी वो बातें करता है कि some of these things are abstract. And so he is saying, speaking truthfully is, and to convey what we understand and not to mislead. झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए.
इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में एक हमारे सेशन में डिस्कशन हुआ था. We were between the Delhi AIMS India and SIUT, and there's another center. So it all started with them saying that since dialysis is so expensive, the usual survival of those children who do not get transplant in India on hemodialysis is not more than a year. So maintenance dialysis पे उनकी life expectancy is in very few cases, like 5-10% बच्चे ही maintenance dialysis पे continue करते हैं after a year. हमारे यहाँ जितने आते हैं उनमें से hardly 20%, 25% करते हैं. Either they drop out or they die of any other complication. Those who don't get transplant. Question here was that when we counsel these parents to initiate dialysis, should we tell them this, that in our experience the prognosis, no matter what you do, even if you do dialysis, 70% of them would not be with us after a year. So you make your decision intelligently, you think about it. Should we be telling this?
Exactly what I was thinking when you were talking about the deaf father who refused for dialysis of that child. Are we sure what are we offering?
Exactly. Or should we be telling the whole truth, or this information should be given only if they ask for it, rather than we provide them upfront.
No, I don't think there is an easy answer to that, and I don't think there is one answer to that. So when you land up saying, जो बात हो रही है ना, you got to be truthful about it, but you can't generally say कि oh they have to be told each and every truth जिसकी वो समझ ही ना रखता हो, या that relationship hasn't developed. So you have to be truthful, but you cannot be the judge that he's going to die in a year. So
I find it very, very disturbing, because to me when I start, sorry, Farid, आपका हाथ ऊपर था.
हाँ बोलो.
So जब if you're starting a treatment, you have to अगर जब हम ये ऐसा करेंगे तो इसके नताइज ये भी निकल सकते हैं, ये भी निकल सकते हैं, ये भी निकल, उसके बगैर आप ट्रीटमेंट शुरू कैसे कर सकते हैं? So I find it very discomforting कि मैं आधी बात बता के कहूँ हाँ ठीक है शुरू कर दें, without letting them know कि possibilities क्या हैं.
नहीं, एक सेकंड पहले फरीद की बात सुन लें तो फिर
इसकी एनालिसिस जो है उससे जो आपके के अंदर उन्होंने डिस्कस किया है डेथ के साथ, कि अगर ये होता है कि मरने वाली होती बच्ची, और क्या फिर उसको बताते हैं कि मरने वाली. सो मरने के वक्त हम क्यों ट्रूथ टेलिंग के अंदर या स्पीकिंग ट्रूथफुली के अंदर थोड़ा सा कंजर्व हो जाते हैं बताने में, कि उससे होप्स चली जाती है. सो टेलिंग समथिंग विच किल्स ऑल होप, उसके अंदर मेरे ख्याल में डिफरेंट हो जाते हैं मुझे लगता है.
Point is, again, and that's a good discussion you guys were having, but it's a different discussion. You're talking of the parent.
Yeah.
Or usme bhi you can apply what this guy is saying. When you are saying, for example, कि यार only 10% of them survive, या India वाले कहते हैं 15% will survive or whatever with dialysis एक साल में. That's all. Look at what this person is saying. Both you and the Indians are saying truth telling, but it's your truth, and it is not the truth, which is what she is talking about. So the issue, how can you be sure? There are papers that are written on prognosis and how poor human beings are, doctors are in prognosis. We've seen that. हम बैठ के बात करते हैं एक साल में this person will die, and we've been there are people that are proven wrong. So therefore, if I'm to relate your example to what is being said here, to tell them 10% सिर्फ बचते हैं is your idea of the truth. But he says there are so many uncertainties, etc. So what he is saying is, instead of that, you speak truthfully to convey what you understand, and you do not mislead. So even in the adult area, it applies. So physicians, all of us, we're into statistics, and if you've practiced medicine long enough, and as a chief resident, I knew that 50% of them die. But by the time I had moved up, it was clear to me that these are guesses, best guesses. So then going back to the issue of the hope, etc., I don't know what the others feel, but to tell the यहाँ के कोई parent को dialysis का हाँ ठीक है हम dialysis कर सकते हैं, लेकिन पहले साल में सिर्फ 10% बचते हैं.
नहीं वो तो क्लियर है. इसमें तो वो तो मशहूर वो जोक है ना उसका कि there are 3 kind of lies. नहीं discussion was not this. Discussion was कि should they be offered this kind of information upfront when you are that the prognostic percentages percentage of prognosis.
वही तो मैं कह रही
तो
थी.
डॉक्टर अली
So
So maybe
नहीं तो उसका कंक्लूजन उस डिस्कशन का यही हुआ कि नहीं, दिस शुड नॉट बी डन बिकॉज
but
ऑफ
you cannot hide it. So the way you so जो मेरी प्रैक्टिस में अब मैं करती हूँ या मैं what I understand इसके आप ये कहते हैं कि आप इस वक्त मैं फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज ब्रेस्ट कैंसर के लिए मरीज आया था, उसने कहा कि ये बताइए कि बुरी बीमारी तो नहीं है. तो मैंने उससे कहा कि देखिए मुझे नहीं पता कि बुरी बीमारी है कि नहीं. कि बायोप्सी होती है तो उसके एक से ज्यादा जवाब आ सकते हैं. ये जवाब भी आ सकता है, ये जवाब भी आ सकता है, ये जवाब भी आ सकता है. और जब ये जवाबात आते हैं देन हम बैठ के फिर उसके साथ आगे चलेंगे. और आपकी उम्र में अगर ऐसा आता है तो ज्यादा इम्कान किस बात का होता है, ये आपको भी पता है, ये मुझे भी पता है. सो आई एम नॉट hiding the truth. I'm not saying you have the cancer. What I'm saying is I'm waiting for the biopsy, and so are you.
So
No,
you
one
have
second.
deferred the truth telling
I have
Till
not,
but
no,
the
I
biopsy.
have not deferred it
I
to
want to
telling.
do
So you
no,
need to understand.
okay.
I need to.
You're not you and then
Listen,
Dr. Aamir had his hand. up.
sometimes-
Believe it or not.
you know this exact same conversation.
Yes.
You listen to what I'm saying.
Mm.
You put your hand on the breast.
Yeah.
You are 99.9999% sure this is cancer.
Yes.
But your answer is that ये biopsy आएगी तो different options हैं. Exactly. आपकी उम्र में chances ज़्यादा हैं. Right?
Yes.
So all I'm saying is you are
So
being
you agree with her?
no, what I'm trying to tell her is what she is saying. If you're in a, you really don't know, it's borderline, but sometimes it's in your face.
Yes, Bushra, this is
So
exactly
you're
what I'm saying.
आप
हाँ.
नहीं जो मैं बात के ये कह रही है ना कि you have to be truthful when you are, in my understanding of clinical practice, you are truthful but you are piecemealing the information so
You're
that
agreeing.
it gets internalized.
Yes,
Yeah,
also,
yes,
yeah,
you
and
are-
I think that's
that
But
is
she's
Bushra.
यही कहा मैंने.
so yeah, so
यही कहा, exactly
that's how
यही कहा
medical
मैंने.
practice is taking.
आप अपना
अचानक
आप
एक वक्त में
आप
आपको
छुपाते
है
नहीं हैं.
आप
Okay, then Dr.
So again,
Aamir.
so there is what is there a difference between truth and fact and data?
Yeah.
Do you see the two different? Truth, fact, and data.
वाह वाह. शायरी.
Well, what is the difference?
क्या आपने कहा याद बोलो?
मैं तो आपसे कहा the
हाँ,
way you
so
have framed it.
truth,
it's
fact,
correct.
so truth from that data,
Yeah.
which is based on some investigation or whatever, is based on some facts which have been reviewed. Data is based on facts. Otherwise, वो data सही नहीं है ना. You have to make this assumption that data is based on facts. Why are you laughing, Dr. Mohan?
Because data in itself is a problem. जो यहाँ जो discussion हो रही है, in science we are taught data is everything. More and more it is becoming clear that what we know, the data you had 5 years ago about something, 2 years later, the data
so
नहीं उसका saying it's true.
So मैं नहीं कह रहा ना, Dr. Mohan, मैं
Okay.
ये कह रहा हूँ, data changes, has always changed and will continue to change. ठीक है? Based on the data, facts will change. एक ज़माना था कि it was a fact कि perforated DU का एक मतलब peptic ulcer disease is going to go into DU की perf. अब जो है वो भाई ज़रूरत नहीं है उस चीज़ की, हो रही है क्योंकि हमारे दवाई हैं या बहुत सारी और चीज़ें हैं. So हम लोग कोई बहुत सारी ऐसी दवाएं मैकेनिज्म लेकर आते हैं. पहले एक चीज़ होती है certainty, like people who have this बुखार तेज हुआ तो मर जाएंगे, अब नहीं होता है. So data keeps
नहीं, तो
so data is so क्या, let me just finish connect the three two. Data makes facts for that particular time which will change. It is
नहीं.
always it will always
Yeah,
subject.
so this is
No,
not
it may
what-
not. Which then creates the truth for that time.
No.
It is
No.
all fluid.
No, it is all fluid. And
Huh?
this is what you learn. It is all fluid,
बोला?
even if no.
You agree with me, you say you agree.
No, but It is all fluid, even if those facts जिनको आप डेटा कह रहे हैं वो वहाँ लिखे हैं तब भी fluid for that सुनिए ना for that particular time even because
Yes.
disease is not
It's individual ना हाँ ठीक है मतलब 10% में आप हो सकता है you may be an
जो
exception
मेरे
yes
हाँ उस
agree
मरीज
agree
के
but
लिए
exceptions are exceptions
exceptions are not
so
exceptions.
generally
Doctor, I mean, the more you do
generally
the clinical
speaking
practice, the more you realize that
You
वो
don't even
numbers
have
चाहे कुछ भी कह रहे हो
Can-
इस मरीज का क्या जवाब है
You-
मुझे भी नहीं पता और उस मरीज को भी
I
नहीं
mean,
पता।
agree.
You don't even have to do clinical practice. You have to
Just
have a
like
good
it.
understanding of data.
Yeah.
Data जो है,
Yeah.
and especially in science, because science rechecks.
जी बिल्कुल exactly
So therefore, to say that this, you can say this is data we have now, but to say this is also a fact,
Yes, so
we can just say
see
this
a
is
difference
also
in
the
that.
truth
That
doesn't
cannot.
hold.
Yeah,
So-
I think we need to have a
please-
small journal club on cardboard.
No,
Or
I
not.
think
Philosophy of science.
Yeah.
the data for that given one particular thing is it's a concrete black and white thing which can change, but data is just something you see as a concrete thing. But fact and truth will vary for that same data in a different
No,
individual.
not different. It will not vary.
Dr. Moazam,
The po-
it
Bushra?
can't be one.
Bushra, the point I'm making is, this is an old argument, is there only one truth?
No, there isn't.
There isn't.
Yeah, that we
Okay.
all agree with that.
फैक्ट की भी जो बात है, जो साइंस इतना क्लियरली कहता है ये फैक्ट
ये भी सही नहीं है.
All you can say is at this time, our knowledge or our data suggests that this is what it is.
So if we can move on with this paper, this thing is now
Yeah,
clear.
You can see what happens.
Because there are so many points in this paper where we can just pick up one aspect and continue. So how this connects to us in this context is that when we are counseling parents or when we are treating children specifically, in that context, giving all the information, complete information that we think is complete knowledge about all the diseases and its prognosis, as came out in this discussion also, is not possible to be given in one sitting. And you are the person who is claiming that this is these are the percentages, statistics. He or she himself or herself would not be sure that this would apply to that specific given patient.
Yeah.
So in that case, when someone asks you that how could I approach or how could I decide for this patient based on previous experiences or based on your knowledge,
You don't decide on a patient.
no, decide on a procedure.
We're talking of your communication at that time, right? So the old thing was based on your code data and stuff, you decided. But we don't. No? The whole point is communication. What is it that you communicate and how?
Exactly. That's exactly I wanted to say. It's not the decision, but it's when they are asking you, when you're sitting in that position. For example, this Laura case, when the parents are asking you, why should you should not be telling her, right? And when you are in that position, what is in the best interest? How much should be the information given to the child? In which would this be different in a different case? Should it be a
different in each
generalized?
So it will be different to
Let
every
me
case.
let me rephrase this again. Had this been a child who is a little older, or it was not an amputation of the leg, it was something else, some other surgery, would that change the way how you approach this one? Of course, yes. But and what?
लिस्ट को उन्होंने क्लस्टराइज जो किया है, really किया है कि इन बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं बेस्ट इंटरेस्ट को डिटरमाइन।
तो बस ये वाला पेपर एग्जैक्टली इसी के लिए है